Mem Aleph, about 10 lines from the top, then count them approximately. The line begins with the word atzmiut. And I want to go back and reread the words that we already learned, we discussed it. The line starts here, hashpah merotz. That we are saying that the hashpah sichlis, hashpah ruchnis, goes through the filter of Ratzon. The filter of Ratzon, or actually the impetus of Ratzon. It is Ratzon that defines that this is a worthwhile hashpah, so to speak. Whereas the hashpah to give birth, which is also a hashpah, it's also something coming out from the nefesh, so to speak, to the outside. But there is a completely different principle, because there he is mashpia lo hoirid bedoima. He's not mashpia to a mushpa, to a makabel, attempting to have him independently know what is mashpia to him. But he's mashpia lo hoirid bedoima, to actually create another replication, another reality as his own. The impetus for this type of hashpah comes from the essential recognition of what the essence is, not from the Ratzon. There is not an awareness, a knowledge of what he is mashpia. It doesn't go through the process of knowledge and awareness. It is the Etzem itself, inherently in the Etzem. Perhaps I should add the word, because it's a living Etzem, because it's a real Etzem, like we said way back when. An Etzem that does not recognize itself, that doesn't know that it lives, is not an Etzem. A rock is not an Etzem. Etzem means that it is a truth through and through. And it is definitely cognizant of its own truth, but not by recognizing its value, by cognizance, by living it. And in that living it, there is the hashpah lehoyle b'doima. And as we said, lehoyle b'doima means because in the Etzem there is the cognizance, the awareness of itself is not just I know, I am. That's not awareness. Awareness of itself means awareness of the truth of the self. Where is the truth of itself? Where does it come from? How does it get the truth? The truth of itself is that awareness, the godly presence in itself. This is the truth. This is the very essence of its existence. In this essence, there is that awareness, quote unquote, as we said yesterday, that one does not live because he knows, because he wants to live. He lives because he is a living entity that there is a godness in him, a godly reality. And this godly reality has in it this infinity that is l'hoyle b'doima. There's an infinite significance, an infinite truth in it, and therefore there is the hashpah l'horei b'doima to replicate and create another entity of such quality. Where is that creation come from? From the essence itself, because he is real, and therefore it goes out to create something else, another reality. This is what's called hashpah atzmiut. Hashpah atzmiut means hashpah is of the Etzem, and more precisely defined, shenimshach Etzem u'mahus hadov. That what comes in this hashpah, not something that he identifies as worthwhile to be mashpia. His whole essence is comes through it. His whole own reality comes through it.
Why does being real through and through, why does that necessitate creating another Etzem?
It does not necessitate. Necessitate in our terminology means that if not for that, he is lacking something.
Right.
He is not lacking anything in himself, in his own reality. But his own reality is greater than his own presence. His own presence at this moment, while he's present, is infinite. It's through and through. But there is a peripheral this definition of what he is. And the internal presence is greater than the peripheral definition. This is what pushes out l'horei b'doim. This is the infinity within the finite entity. Excuse me.
And in Ratzon also we describe as it's a makib, it represents the essence of the person. It's
true, it represents it in a makib, but it's oir. It is oir. It is the recognition of his significance, of his truth. It is not the truth itself. Like you said, what's lacking? In hashpah, when you mashpia a talmid, you do recognize that the talmid is lacking something. And this is what, in a sense, elicits this hashpah. And furthermore, the transmission, like we said, mitalmida yesi mikula. Mitalmida yesi mikula means that I learned from my students more than from my teachers. More of this many times. What is mitalmida yesi mikula? Which means that in teaching, the truth of this cycle surfaces more than as I understand it to myself.
What is that showing? In other words, what's the point of that? I mean, what's that illustrating?
Again, the truth of the cycle surfaces at a greater intensity when there is an abstraction. That's the oechoizer element. then you sense the essential truth of the seichel. Okay? That means that the hashpah comes because you sense the truth of the seichel. It reveals the truth of the seichel. Whereas hashpah b'deima, in atzmiut, nothing is gained, nothing is complementing, nothing substantiate that the Etzem is an Etzem. The Etzem is an Etzem. And because it's an Etzem, this is why it's mashpia. I want to say something that will clarify this even more. We said that from the perspective of oil choizer, if you have this book over here and you want to put another book, oil choizer, it would be, oh, this book is already occupying this place. And you try to put something on the same place, it won't let you. You can't. And therefore you go and look for another place. Then there is, this is the chitzonius. Then there is an oil that to begin with, you see that actually there is provision for another book. In reality, there's room for that, but I don't even come into the conflict with this book. I go straight to the provision. This is I see where this fits in. Oil Yosher and Oil Choser both are speaking about this item fitting in. There's room for it. Whether it is being rejected and pushed off or it finds its own place. Mitzad Etzem. There's no need for room for it. It is there because the Etzem is there. The union that you have to have room for it is already a chitzonius. So its own truth, it is there, whatever it is. This is the Etzem. Etzem is exclusively a positive. It's not mitzad oyer choizer. Mitzad he's missing something, lacking anything. It's exclusively mitzad a positive in him. But this positivity is not like the positivity of oyer yosher. It's not oyer. It's the etzem itself. This positivity mitzad the truth of the etzem itself, because that etzem has an infinity element. This is why it's mashpia v'dayim. This is the Etzem itself is nimshich. The reality of the Etzem is nimshich in this hashpah. He doesn't know what he is mashpia. He's mashpia himself.
One final question. When we've discussed Ratzon in the past,
yeah,
we've always made a clear distinction that the Ratzon is not a want out of lack. It's a completely positive inyan. And here I heard that it's being elicited by a lack. In other words, the Talmud is lacking, and therefore the Ratzon is...
No, the Talmud is lacking. The Ratzon is not lacking. On the contrary, the Talmud is lacking, and I want to fill it because he shouldn't be lacking.
Mm-hmm.
So thereby the Rav and Talmud, he's still dealing with how do things fit in.
Right.
There's a lacking and something should go over here. versus by...
Right, this thing is fitting in and all that. We discussed it one day, and obviously there's much more to point out there.
So, and it was said even that arranging things is chitzoni, but by Etzem it's
just to make the point in contrast. We said before over here that oir, which is bechinas gili ho etzem, harei kmei ho etzem bechinas ein sof. If it doesn't go through a tzimtzum, if it is megala the etzem, megala his own presence, that is bechinas ein sof. That's what we said, and the reason it is Agbola because there's a tzimtzum to be mashpia. Now we're talking about the Ein Sof of the Etzem itself, not the oil. In other words, I don't know if you will catch this. Why is there oil? Remember we spoke about a name. Why is there a name? Because there is the Etzem. Now, a name represents the Etzem, but only represents the Etzem. The Etzem, this is the truth itself. L'hol b'doima comes not even from the name. It comes from the Etzem.
You said the name is even greater than the presence. The presence is not even Etzem either. We said the name is greater because this represents a shlichus in the world. It represents the kavana, the him being in the world. That's even greater than just he unto himself. That's not.
This is greater than his koichos. This is greater than his koichos, than his seichel, than his midas. But if he were not an atzmiut, there would be no name.
Okay, the name represents that. That's why he has a name, because he's an etzem in the world. In the world.
That's what we said. The reason he has a name is because he's an atzmiut. And now we have these two things. We have the name that represents that. Says that he's an atzmiut, and the atzmiut itself. The hashpah b'doima is mitzad the atzmiut itself. In other words, the name is only from his pashtus. L'hol b'doima is not for his pashtus purposes. It represents the reality of what he is.
Even though the mitzvah peru uruvu milos haaretz, it's sort of like putting some kind of context on it. In other words, he's spreading forth to populate the world, to fill the world. It seems to be
right. So this is what we pointed out before. There are two elements in this. There's the uniform of the perpetuity of the species, and then there is a perpetuity, the Ein Sof of this particular nefesh. This supersedes that element. This is milos haaretz. This is not contained in the entity itself. Fill the earth. Mm-hmm. Here we're talking about we're talking about the atzmiut of the nefesh. Let's put it again in other words. Perhaps it depends how we relate to this. The nefesh Nefesh ha'odam, nefesh ha'behema. The behema is also alive. When the behema dies, where does the nefesh go? Are we saying no, the nefesh persists? The nefesh is there while the behema is alive. It has a function to give the behema life. Nefesh ha'odam. Nefesh ha'odam. There's no such thing as dissipation. It's the godly reality. I told you someone asked, I remember I told you, someone asked, he was asked by where does the nefesh go to after 120? Where is the nefesh after 120? Remember? What did he say? What's the answer? Where is it now? You think the nefesh is dependent on the goof to be? Nefesh after 120 is in the same place where it is now. Because it's a godly reality. This is the union from Etzem, l'hoyle b'doim. This is what we said many times, that in the human being, the nefesh effectuates not a living body, but life in a body. This is v'doim. This life in a body is a reality. And this perpetuates the senior that is life in the body. This lohay v'doim. Okay. Okay. Being much better.
No, I'm trying to. The biggest problem here is that that I'm world oriented. I know that's the problem. So when you hear B'doima, you wonder that could not an Etzem. Why would an Etzem want to have B'doima? B'doima seems like it's like a Gashmis.
That's it. The nefesh and the goof.
Yeah, this is a.
Because there's a reality to this.
An Etzem and a goof, they don't seem to. What one wants, what one is, and what the other one is.
This Inyan, that this nefesh is in the goof, that phenomenon itself is a godly presence. And it presents the depth of the nefesh. The nefesh of the malach, the depth of the nefesh, the atzmiut of the nefesh. The nefesh of a malach could not have that same effect.
What's the difference here? What's the difference?
Because the nefesh is an atzmi. This is why it can continue to be a nefesh in the goof.
A malach doesn't have a nefesh of this quality?
No. Malach, his nefesh is a functional nefesh. That's why they're called Chayes HaKodesh.
Holy animals.
Huh?
Holy animals.
Holy animals.
And the word devar at the end of the statement, Etzem who's devar.
Hadavar.
Devar. What? Such a it's a word that doesn't have.
The Etzem who's of the thing.
What's the thing? What's
the thing? The human being, the one that gives birth.
thing is still,
I
not the
I
Etzem.
understand perhaps what bothers you. Etzem Musa Dover is a statement. Yes, a human being has seichel, and he has midas, and he has feelings, and he has Ratzon. But then there is Hadover, his very presence, his reality. This is the Etzem Musa Dover. Okay, let's continue. And therefore, the principle on the root of this hashpah, where is it rooted from? Where it's coming? He davko. It is specifically, exclusively me'akoyacho atzmi hakol b'nefesh. It is from the koyacho atzmi hakol b'nefesh. It is not hakol b'nefesh. Is kol in the nefesh because it's a nefesh, not because it has any kind of faculties, functioning capabilities. Ukiyodua horaya al zeh. There's a well-known proof, so to speak, or that which shows it. It's like there's no proof. That shows this, that demonstrates this truth. Shehasumo, that one who is sightless, moilid shalei, can give birth to a healthy and complete person. But he does not know what it means to see. How does he provide sight qualities to his offspring if he doesn't himself know what it means? V'hainu, which points out to the fact lefi, because shehagiroin etzloi, that which is the lack that is by him is rag ba'kochas haglui. It is only true in the kochas hagluim, in the functioning and the revealed kochas. Avo b'kochas atzmiyim, but in his essential, the kochas atzmiyim, the kochas, the essence of the kochas, haklulim be'esem hanefesh, that are part and parcel of the esem hanefesh. Ein boy shum giroy v'chisoron klal. There doesn't know any lack and anything, any shortage. Ve'al kein melid sholem. And this is why he gives birth to a complete person. Okay? So our time is basically up. I want to just complete the sentence. We said before, if he doesn't know what sight is, how can he transmit sight? We have to understand. All the kochas are nefesh. As we speak many times, the ability to walk, to talk, to think, to see, to hear, these are presences not because there is an ear, not because there's an eye, because there's a hand. These are presences because this is inherent and rooted in the nefesh. The nefesh knows what it means to see. The nefesh knows what it means to hear. The nefesh knows what it means to walk and to move from place. It has an infinity quality. Why is it able to see, so to speak, inside the nefesh? Because the nefesh is not limited to a place. It recognizes that what is place about? Place is the godly infinity. And it's able to relate to the infinity in any which way, whether it's through hearing or to seeing, or through walking, or to touch. This is why he knows what it means to see, but on a much deeper level.
Why not from the nefesh? And because the nefesh is nishba, so it has the koiches atzmiut. I don't understand what it means. The shorish hashpah is from the koiches atzmiut. It should be from the Etzem, and because the Etzem is nimshach, so then there are koiches atzmiut.
So this is what we explained before. The koyach atzmi, that represents the atzmius of the Etzem. In other words, an Etzem that does not have a koyach is not an Etzem. And with this we will conclude. And today is Thursday. So in Mitzvah Hashem, we will pursue this a little further. Have a good day.
Yeah.